my children showed me, you do
Right.
something, they do it back. And you're like, why do you do? Oh, you got that from me.
I can remember so many times throughout my life as a child how often he did tell me he loved me, but he didn't show it.
Of
Right.
repenting, acknowledging your sin, and ask for forgiveness. For that is how you're going to get true love. So
I am not a perfect father, 26 years in, and I'm still not perfect. I still mess up constantly, and I still have to turn and say, I'm sorry that I reacted that way. I'm sorry that that happened.
the way I needed love was like telling me he was proud, telling me that I was doing good, telling me these
Right.
things. But his was like, well, I bought you a shoe. Welcome to the High Performance Human Podcast, where high achievers learn to master themselves, not just their success. I'm Creighton Bertrand, a certified high performance coach, here to share practical tools to rewire your habits and mindset. If you're ready to move beyond good enough and step into real transformation, you're in the right place. Let's get to work. I think that's love, is your ability to bring in how you feel and listen to how someone else feels and then be
Hmm.
like, okay, cool. What's the common ground? We want to love each other. We want to respect each other. What can we do to accomplish that?
Right.
But
Right.
so many people try to go into a relation or into a conversation like, I'm right, you're wrong. I just want to bulldoze you. And if that's the case, then you're not coming from a place of love and understanding and wanting betterment of the relationship.
No, you can't. I mean, to try to bulldoze your kids into that way is
You
just
can
not.
for a while, but then
They're
that's when they're gonna
going to get smart.
disassociate. Well, what I see is you can do that. You can yell and bulldoze, but then once they become an adult, they're gonna be like, "I'm gone. I don't need that. I don't want that. That's not beneficial. We don't have a relationship. It's a
Right.
dictatorship."
Right.
And I
You're
don't think
absolutely
that's
right.
what any parent wants. But again, we're idiots and we are doing the best we can with the information we have. And
Exactly.
unfortunately, it's not the best. Well, I'm curious because I love your background of obviously how long were you a Marine?
I did 4 years. They wanted me to stay in. They even offered me a massive signing bonus. And so 23 when I got out, they offered me a massive signing bonus. And I even turned that down. I wanted to try to live life as a what we called a civilian.
Civilian. A lot of our civilian mindset is like they're really hard. They do extreme stuff. They're crazy. It's the one that a lot of us idolize, kind of look up to. Where do you find any of the training, any of this stuff that you learned, the discipline as a Marine coming into your life? And is there other areas of being a Marine that you're like, whoa, that's toxic. I don't want to allow that into my life?
When it comes to things that I'm passionate about, whether it's my podcast, I'm an avid runner, training for marathons and even ultra marathons. I mean, that kind of stuff. When I'm passionate about something, I am 100% all in, will go until the mission is complete. That's the Marine in me.
Okay.
So when it comes to raising my kids, I was the dad that was at every single meeting. I was the dad that was at every single first day of school. I was the dad that was at every single open house. I was the dad that was at every single field trip. I was the dad that was coaching every single one of the teams that they were on, even if they were on multiple teams at the same time. I was that dad. I was 100% driven, focused in being the present, loving dad that I needed to be for my boys.
Do you think you
Um,
needed to go that extreme?
no,
I'm just
so
talking for the dad that's listening,
yeah,
and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't do all that. Therefore, by comparison to Bryan, I'm a crappy dad.
no, I was the extreme. There are obviously varying levels, but I think even when it comes to coaching, people go, don't have any idea what coaching is like. I would be scared to death. There's no way I could coach. Great, don't coach, but be there.
Right.
Be there.
Mhm.
Because I guess what, mom and dad, when little Billy's running down the basketball court and he makes a 3-point shot and he looks up in the stands, doesn't give a crap about all those people in the stands. He wants to see somebody he knows.
I'd
And that
say the
somebody,
opposite is the worst of like when I would miss and make a failure, I needed my parents, someone there to love me in the failure, not just celebrate in the win.
sure, it works the same way. So I make dads feel guilty when they say, I've got commitments at work and blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
I go, well, guess what? Little Billy's got a basketball game tonight and the kid hasn't made a 3-point shot ever in his life. And what are you going to do when he makes that 3-point shot tonight and
Mm-hmm.
you're not there? Then how do you feel? Because guess what? Living with no regrets, that's going to be a regret that you'll have
Mm-hmm.
not being there.
Agreed.
So that's the example that I use when I talk about, kids, looking up in the stands. They just made their first shot. They're cheering, they're jumping up and
Right.
down, they're
They
getting
want
all
to
the
share
excitement.
that.
They see all the crowd going crazy, but they don't care about them. They just want to see their parents like screaming up and down and going crazy. So yeah, you don't need to be the crazy coach, like I was on the sidelines. Be the parent that's involved. There were a couple teams in my older son's high school years that he did not want me to coach. He said, "Dad, I'm in high school now. I want to do my own thing." Great. I'm fine with that because I can be a spectator. I'm good, right? But guess what? I still went to every single
Mm,
practice. I went to every practice. How many parents go to practices? You know what practice is to parents? Practice is babysitting time.
mm,
That's what it is to them. They drop their kids off and let them go be with the coach, and then they go run errands and go out to dinner or whatnot, and then they come back and pick up their kid. So it's a babysitter for them.
mm,
I was at every practice
mm,
for the teams that I didn't coach. And it ended up working out because the head coach saw me at every practice and 3 years later needed an associate head coach
mm.
and asked me if I would help him coach.
So the Marine comes in when you're doing your dad stuff. Where else?
Running, I've ran 7 marathons this year, including one
Oof.
ultra marathon, which is 52 miles.
Oh,
So
wow.
running, when I have a race coming up, I will get up at 2 o'clock in the morning if I have to in order to make commitments throughout the day in order to get my run in. I'll get up and go running. So when it comes to running, I have 2 more marathons coming up and I have a triathlon coming up.
Oh,
So I'm die hard into training for those. And well, they go, well, you're a great dad and you're this great husband. How do you balance all that time? I don't. It's impossible to balance it because if you're trying to balance work life or your extracurricular life with your family life, it's impossible because whatever you're focusing your attention to, something else is not equal.
right.
Because I'm focusing right now on running.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm out on my training runs, my family's not on my mind. I got my music going. I'm in my me time. I'm in my little zone. But guess what? I don't let it do? I don't let it affect my family time. So if we have commitments throughout the day, like I said, if we've got family commitments and I know I've got to be places, I will get up at 2 o'clock in the morning if I
Mm,
have to get my run in so I don't impact my family time, period. Because whatever I'm going to devote 100% to, I'm giving you 100%, brother. Right now, Creighton, it's me and you. I'm giving you 100% of my time right now. My family's not on my mind. The other stresses I have in my life are not on my mind. My focus is here. So when it comes to running, it's the same exact thing. When I'm in my training runs, I'm on my training runs.
mm,
When I'm home, guess what? I'm home.
yeah.
And my wife will say that to me sometimes. She's like, "You just ran a marathon today. Are you really going to feel like going up to, if we want to go do this?" I'm like, "Yes, because that's my time with you."
Mm,
Yes. I don't care if I'm sore. I don't care if my legs hurt. I don't care if I'm tired. I'm going to devote that time to you.
mm-hmm.
Period.
What do you think it is that allows you to hone in those moments? Because I really believe, and I want to hear your opinion, that I think we're such a fleshly, wicked, sinful being that we fall into our flesh, we fall into our temptations, we fall into letting our feelings become fact. And
Right.
hearing everything you just said is you were like, I don't care if I don't feel like it, I don't care if this, I am a father, I am a husband, I am going to do the thing that I said. You're not going into, well, what do I feel like right now?
Right. If I hadn't had my military experience, then I don't know that I would necessarily be so driven in areas of my life
Mm,
because I was not getting the affirmations I needed from my own father. And so I don't know that because of how I was raised, I would have been able to grow or get stronger and build the traits that I have now had I not gone into the Marines. So I really believe that that's part of it.
And what do you think it is that the Marines gave you that allowed you to
The
do that?
Marines do not finish a job until the mission is done.
So they
period.
don't let their feelings, they don't let the circumstance, they don't
No,
let the situation
no,
dictate their actions.
nothing will stop what they're doing until the mission is done. And it
And I think
doesn't matter
that's,
how many people are sacrificed. If other Marines lose their life in trying, the bottom line is you raise your right hand that you're going to give everything to the Marine Corps when
yeah.
you sign up, period. And so that's what I believe. So yes, whatever our job was in the Marines, we don't stop until the mission is done.
And I think that
So,
that's so true. That so many people, and I even found this in areas in my life that I wasn't good at, was because I let my feelings dictate my actions
mhm,
instead of, like you're saying, deciding I'm going to do this until not coming into it. And this is what most of us do. Well, I'll get fit if it's easy. I'll get do this if this. And I call it conditional goals. We're saying, well, I want it as long as these conditions are true, but then
right.
the conditions actually become our goal, not the actual goal.
Right. And when you start putting conditions on things, I mean, where else in your life are you putting conditions?
Everywhere,
Holy crap.
everywhere.
Like you're gonna put conditions on lifting a little weight for a little
Yeah,
bit each day
yeah.
or every other day. I'm like, where else are your conditions? But is there anything that I took from Marines that I didn't like or didn't you carry on?
Hmm.
And one of those things was I like to tease in the Marines, they teach us how to cuss, they teach us how to kill, and they teach us how to drink. And mine was drinking. And I carried that.
So you kept the other two, cussing and killing. You're like, you know
Yeah,
what? Those ones I need to
no,
not
those I
just
got rid
eat.
of, but I kept drinking, and drinking became a problem for me. It wasn't until I realized my younger son was 10 years old. I was the casual at home drinker.
Yeah.
So I was the dad that was sitting on the recliner watching TV, drinking beers all night.
Hmm.
I was that dad.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize until my younger son was about 10 or so, maybe 9 years old. And he was walking by and I said, "Hey, can you go grab me a beer out of the fridge?"
Mm.
And normal 9-year old, all right, Dad, I'll go get you a beer. But he walked away and he went to go get me a beer. And I went, what in the hell am I doing?
Mm.
I'm indirectly
Hmm.
teaching my child alcohol by having him going and get me a beer. Now, I'm not having him drink the beer,
Right.
but I
But you're
might as
telling him
well
it's
be
okay. Yeah.
because he's learning it now at
Hmm.
8 or 9. Like, what in the hell is wrong with me? So I went to my wife and I said, I think I need to cut back on my alcohol. And you know what she said to me? She goes, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. And I went, oh, really? I'm like, whoa, let's talk. She, yeah, it's a problem.
Mm.
And I've been meaning to have the conversation with you.
Wow.
And I didn't know how to do it. And I went, well, it's not a problem anymore. I'm done.
Wow. Did you notice what it was that triggered you? Was it just when you were bored, when you're sitting around? Did you notice the times that when this happened, it stimulated you wanting to drink?
Yeah, it was those times that I was just chilling. Like I was just kind of
Okay.
in my own
Okay.
little
So it
world.
wasn't really escapism. You weren't doing
No,
it to ease something or when you were frustrated or angry
no,
or
no. It helped me escape
yeah.
because I found myself, my wife started talking to me about it. I realized, I have noticed now that we're talking that I would sit in the house and have a beer watching TV, but then I would go out to the garage and I had a fridge out there that had beer in it too. And I go out to the garage and pound a beer and then maybe pound one or two more before I came back in the house and
Mm,
sat down and casually had a beer.
mm,
So I was getting excessive with my drinking.
yeah.
Like I said, it didn't impact any other in my life. I still went to work every day. I
Yeah.
wasn't hungover every day. I didn't not coach. I was still coaching. I didn't drink and drive. None of those things were impacted. But when my wife started talking about it, I was like, all right, well, that's it. And guess what? Last Sunday, I celebrated 16 years.
Wow, congratulations.
So 16 years of completely off alcohol.
Do you regret the 16 years of not drinking?
No. And people ask me, do you miss it? And I go, hell yeah, I miss it.
Really?
Because I wouldn't, but I think I could go and become that casual drinker in that when you're out in a function, you
Hmm.
have a drink with somebody or, you're at a family function, maybe have a beer. Like my boys are 23 and 26. They're both drinking age.
Hmm.
And I never got to have a first drink with them.
You could have, you chose not to, but
Yes,
yeah.
I chose not to. That was one thing I couldn't do with them. Do I think I could do it now? I do, but I don't want to go down that road because I don't want to, what if it doesn't go the way I want it to go? and I end up falling back into a trap.
Hmm.
But that's the other side of me that is driven. I
Mm.
tried AA once. I went to one meeting and went, not for me. I couldn't connect with the people that was there.
Mm.
I didn't feel comfortable. I just didn't feel right. I said, I'm not going to another meeting.
Mm.
And I didn't.
Mm.
And I have people tell me all the time that are recovering alcoholics, how in the hell are you staying sober without going to connections, going to meetings, having those relationships with, I'm like, it's just a decision that I made.
Yeah.
It was impacting my life and I knew it needed to stop. And so I made a decision to stop. So it didn't seem that hard to me. I know others, it's hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard for me.
Well, the last question I want to ask you, and then I want to be conscious of your time just because of your background and everything that you've done. Especially, I think it's so cool that you have the Marine background of I do hard things, I push myself, I get focused, and then feelings are usually this is how most of us are able to achieve and do hard things is we take our feelings and we suppress them so that we can keep pushing. Like obviously, if you're running, 50 miles, at some point you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel feelings. You
Mhm.
say, "No, I don't care. I'm going to make it to that stop sign. I'm going to make it to
Mhm.
the tree. I'm just going to keep pushing, keep going." But also with your stuff with your dad of, "Oh my gosh, I didn't have the feelings. I didn't have the connection." What is your thoughts on are feelings good or are feelings like because I think a lot of type A, especially if you were to talk to me at 30, when I was
Mhm.
just pushing, doing, suppressing all feelings, all emotions, I would have said feelings are weakness. Those are for people that are weak,
Right.
that you don't need feelings. Feelings just hold you back because they did. If I was at the gym or if I was playing sports, especially soccer or anything like that, was like when I had these feelings of being tired, whatever, I was like, go away. I got this. I just turned it
Mhm.
on. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's something that I talked about earlier when it comes to, bringing up my younger son and how sensitive he is and how open he is, how he can share and be vulnerable in the things
Hmm.
that he needs to talk about. That's where I learned how to be okay with my feelings. And then obviously through years of therapy,
Yeah.
hey,
Learning how to have
it's
emotions.
okay. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to have these feelings. I mean, it's interesting. We had a situation, the house we moved into now my younger son, he's getting married in March. So his fiance got us a nice gift. She gave us this picture of our old house. And we had lived in our old house for 25 years. So it was a really tough thing to move from that old house. But I got emotional seeing this picture of our old house. And my younger son made a comment. He's like, wow, I've never seen dad cry.
Mm.
And I went, really? 23 years you've never seen me cry? Like, that's surprising because I am pretty open with my feelings and stuff like that. But he said, I don't recall ever seeing you cry. I bring that up because he's one that has taught me
Mm.
it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to not be okay in order to be okay.
Mm.
That's the growth. That's where the growth comes in. And I think that's why I've been able to be okay with my emotions because it's part of growing.
They're indicators, they're signals, and then we get
Exactly.
to decide what do I want to do with this signal. You don't have to
Right.
listen to it, you don't have to do what it says, but
Right.
it's literally just a signal based upon a previous experience, a previous story, a previous identity.
Right.
And I think that's where so many of us get it wrong. We have these emotions, and I love to study addiction because addictive behavior is I can't even have a little because if I have a little, then I can't control what I'll do next. So a lot
Right.
of us do the same thing with emotions. I can't have a little bit of emotion because I'm afraid of how it's going to make me feel. I'm afraid of all these things. So it's easier just to suppress it and say I'm not going to have any. I think
Right.
it takes more courage to be like your son of I'm going to feel the emotion and then based upon that feeling, I'm going to decide what it is that I want to do. What advice would you have for, let's say, the dad or the father that's listening and feels like he's failing as a father? Is there any like first steps or first things that you think that,
I think if you think you're failing as a father, you're probably not failing as a father. You're probably failing or you think you're failing in a particular area. So I think the first thing you have to do is
mm,
identify what is that failure?
mm,
Is it fatherhood in general? Because if it's fatherhood in general, I'm probably pretty sure there's probably an area of fatherhood that you're probably pretty damn good at.
mm,
whether it's the verbal, whether it's the connection as far as touching, that kind of connection, verbal, telling the back and forth, I love you. So the physical part is what I meant. And then also through affirmations, giving, different things like that. There's an area of your fatherhood that you're good at. So what is it specifically that you're failing at? Once you can identify that,
Mm,
then I think becomes pretty easy to figure out what do I need to do to make it right. Because if you can figure out, okay, I'm failing here and I'm failing here. Then you can go, okay, how do I correct these things? Well, goes back to what I talked about earlier. Get yourself around like-minded individuals, get
mm,
yourself around other dads. It could even be your pastor at church. Going to your
amen.
pastor at church and going, hey, this is where I think I'm failing as a father. I need to know what I need to do right. And I'll tell you the third thing you can do. People say, well, there's a ton of parenting books out there, but all of them seem to be like steered here or steered here. What's a parenting book that you could recommend that dads could pick up and read?
Mhm.
It's called the Bible. That's what it's called.
No, Brian, I don't want the Bible because it just mirrors and shows all my flaws as a human. And I think
Yeah.
that that was why I didn't want to read the Bible because it
Okay, but I
talked
guess you
about
what?
all the,
But guess what? If you read through the Bible and you live your life according to the way that the Bible speaks, you'll be amazed at how much better your life's going to be. Period. I
facts.
mean, that's the way it's going to be. And so you have to live your life the way that the Bible speaks. And it also means being a father that way as well.
Yeah.
And you'll be amazed at how much better you'll be. Now, I will say this. One of the best things you can do as a dad, unless your kids are too young to understand this, but one of the best things you can do as a dad on a regular basis is to go to your child, son or daughter, and go, what can I do better as a
Yes.
father for you? And now, if they're three, they might say, well, you could give me ice cream instead of dinner,
Yeah.
or let's go to ice cream every night for dinner. Things like that, they're going to be silly. They're not going to fully understand it.
Hmm.
But when they start to get that mature age and they start to understand words, then you can go to them and I say regular because they go through changes of their lives, stages of their
Yes.
life as they grow up, and their
What
stages of
used to
their
work won't
lives.
continue to
Right.
work.
So you have to
Grow.
keep asking them that because when you keep asking them that, that's where the real growth happens. So listen, my boys, Blake and Brett, Blake, dude, right now, I feel like I'm struggling here. What can I do better as a father for you?
Hmm.
And let him answer. Shut
Yeah.
up. Let him answer. And it may be something you don't want to hear. It may be hurtful, but let
Yes.
them answer.
Do you
And then
have the
when they
courage?
answer, then you go, okay, there's my area. That's what I need to work on. So that's one of the best things you can do, asking your kids. Second, asking your spouse.
Mm, amen.
Honey, I think I'm failing in this area as a father to our boys. What do you, is there any areas that you think I could do better at as a dad? And guess what? Your wife's going to be honest with you.
I
She's
know,
going to
but
be
it
honest.
sucks. It
She's going to be
hurts.
like, listen here, boy, you
I've
better
been
sit down.
waiting.
You
Let
better
me
sit
get
down
this
and
list.
get a notepad and pen because we're
Yeah.
going to be here for a bit. So those are the things you can do as a dad that'll help you succeed at parenting. I say succeed, not be perfect. I said
Yes.
succeed
Yeah.
at parenting.
I
Be my
love that.
answer.
Well, let me ask you this. For Blake and Brett, what is it when they think about you when you're come and gone, you had your time here, when they become parents? What do you want them to remind, or what do you want them to think of you when they think of you as their father?
Well,
Like, what's the
obviously
thing?
they know I love him. But one thing that my boys I know would say was he was always there for me.
I
There
love that.
wasn't a moment that I couldn't rely on him. He was always there for me. So if I could have that kind of response from them when I'm gone, I've lived a perfect life.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, sharing your struggles and your definition of stuff and everything that's allowed you to be the father that's there for them and to show up in their life and for showing up for us today, brother. I really
Thank you
appreciate you.
very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I felt like we could have talked for another four
I
hours.
know, yeah. I was like, man, we
Uh,
could have went into so many on all these
Yeah,
things, but I want to be
but
respectful.
appreciative of what you're doing, appreciative of what you're trying to build yourself as far as a family goes, and definitely will have you on my show. So,
Awesome. Well, appreciate you, brother.
all right, man. Thank you very much for having me on, man.